Imagine a world where the icy Arctic we now know was a thriving, almost tropical sea. A world ruled not by polar bears or whales but by colossal reptiles, giants that make even the most fearsome predators of today seem tame. Millions of years ago, long before the first humans, the Arctic seas were the domain of creatures straight out of a nightmare. These were the giant lizards of the prehistoric oceans, species like the mighty Mosasaurus and the terrifying Talosaurus. They didn't just survive in these high-latitude waters. They dominated them. Now, you might be picturing the frozen, desolate Arctic of today, but the Mesozoic era was a completely different planet. Polar ice caps were minimal, if they existed at all. Warm ocean currents flowed all the way to the poles, creating a surprisingly temperate climate. The lands were covered in lush forests of conifers and ferns, and the seas were teeming with an abundance of life. It was this rich, vibrant ecosystem that provided the perfect stage for these giant lizards to become the undisputed kings of the Arctic. Here, they hunted, they fought, and they grew to sizes that are almost impossible to comprehend. So, just how big were these Arctic giants? Picture a creature longer than a school bus, over 15 meters, or 50 feet, from snout to tail. Their jaws were armed with rows of sharp conical teeth, perfectly designed to slice through flesh and crush bone with horrifying efficiency. With their streamlined bodies and powerful, whip-like tails, they could glide through the water with a deadly grace, stalking their prey in near silence. For a Mosasaurus, the Arctic wasn't just a hunting ground. It was a battleground. Fierce territorial disputes with other massive reptiles were common, turning a peaceful sea into a brutal arena of prehistoric combat. But how did these reptiles, which we typically associate with warm climates, thrive in the chilly, albeit not frozen, Arctic waters? Adaptation was the name of the game. These giants likely developed thick layers of insulating fat, much like modern whales, to maintain their body heat. Their respiratory systems would have been incredibly efficient, allowing them to hold their breath for long dives into the deep, cold waters in search of food. Fossil evidence even hints that some species might have been migratory. Just like whales or seabirds today, they may have followed vast schools of fish or traveled to specific areas to breed, undertaking epic journeys across the polar seas. Life in the ancient Arctic wasn't just about survival. It was an incredible opportunity. The sheer abundance of food, from massive fish to ancient squid and even smaller marine reptiles, meant that these lizards could reach truly enormous sizes. This phenomenon, known as polar gigantism, allowed them to become the apex predators of their world. Their presence at the top of the food chain had a ripple effect, influencing the behavior and evolution of every other species in the ecosystem, creating a unique and dynamic marine world unlike any other in Earth's history. Their hunting tactics were as varied as they were effective. Some were ambush predators, lurking in the dark, deep waters, waiting for an unsuspecting fish or a smaller reptile to swim overhead before launching a devastating surprise attack from below. Others were active pursuers, using incredible bursts of speed to chase down fast-moving prey in open water. No matter the strategy, their massive jaws and deadly teeth ensured they were the most feared creatures in their environment, true masters of their domain. Despite their power, life for these titans was filled with peril. The Arctic seas, even without massive ice sheets, were a dangerous place. Drifting icebergs, powerful currents, and violent seasonal storms posed a constant threat even to a 50-foot lizard. The young were particularly vulnerable, often becoming a meal for slightly larger reptiles or even schools of hungry predatory fish. To make it to adulthood, it took more than just brute strength. It required cunning and learned behaviors. Only the strongest, smartest, and most adaptable individuals would survive to pass on their genes to the next generation. The fossil record is a stunning testament to the diversity of these Arctic marine reptiles. We've found remains of everything from short-necked, powerfully built predators designed for crushing shells, to long, slender hunters with flexible bodies and whip-like tails built for speed. This variety shows they had adapted to fill every possible ecological niche. Some may have been solitary hunters, roaming the seas alone, while others might have hunted in small, coordinated groups, like wolf packs of the sea, working together to bring down larger and more difficult prey. So what happened to these magnificent rulers of the ancient Arctic? Their reign, like all great dynasties, eventually came to an end. Their extinction story began even before the cataclysmic asteroid strike. The world was changing. Gradual shifts in the climate, rising temperatures, and changing sea levels began to alter their habitats. At the same time, new competitors were emerging in the form of early marine mammals. The ecosystem that had sustained them for millions of years was slowly collapsing around them. By the time the asteroid hit the Earth 66 million years ago, plunging the planet into chaos and wiping out the non-avian dinosaurs and countless marine species, the giant lizard species of the Arctic were already in a state of decline. The final blow simply sealed their fate. To imagine these creatures, gliding silently through the dark, cold waters, is to get a glimpse into a lost world of incredible power and a relentless fight for survival. They are a powerful reminder of how evolution can push the boundaries of size, behavior, and dominance. Their legacy lives on, not just in the fossils they left behind, but in the sense of awe and wonder they still inspire in us today. In the end, the giant lizards of the Arctic seas were more than just predators. They were the titans of their era, the pinnacle of evolution in an extreme environment. Studying their adaptations, their hunting strategies, and their sheer, breathtaking size gives us a unique window into the ecosystems of the past and the incredible forces that have shaped life on our planet. They stand as a magnificent and terrifying testament to the boundless power of evolution. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive into our planet's incredible history. We'll see you in the next one.